So here we are in the backyard, and I suppose I'll give you a little tour of the shed project that's going on. There's Darcy over there. But this is coming out of the back patio. As you can see, we've got the roof sheathing on. 1/2-inch plywood. This thing, if you haven't been keeping up with the photos or the plans or drawings, this is 10 by 12. And it's based off of plans for an 8 by 10 shed that I modified a little bit. We've added a 4-foot bump out on here, essentially made it part of the main body of the shed. And so that'll house tiller, lawnmower, heavier stuff that we just want to get out of the way. And we've got it, let's see, up on 6 supports here. They're concrete piers. Steel little anchors set in them, and the 10 by 12 platform, it's made out of 2 by 6 pressure treated joists, and they're doubled up around the edges. The rib joists are double and sitting on that. So there's the reason the bump out's supported more is because, well, if you'd had an 8 by 10 shed originally, the support would have rested right there, so this wall right here would have been the edge. And then this, again, is supposed to be kind of a bump out. And plus, we've got this nice doubled up 2 by 6 beam here. Let's just step into the shed for a minute. Supporting this wide opening. So we've got, I know it's kind of cluttered right now, because we shifted everything in here to when we're not working on it. It's got this nice wide opening so you can just roll the lawnmower and equipment and whatever right into the space without having to go around posts or columns or any support or anything. So yeah, got our 2 by 6 beam doubled up there. Should be plenty. And but that's, and then like I said, this will hold a lot of the heavy stuff. And then there are 2 footings in this 4-foot part because all the weight from that beam is coming down right there. So, and then we've got our 1/2-inch sheathing on there. Lookout rafters, which were a little tough to frame. This is in lieu of running purlins across the whole thing. So we just notched these. And we're figuring on this being safe because you're essentially replacing the material that you take out of the rafter. So, 2 by 6 ridge beam. And we'll have a nice 3-foot door here. We're going to build it with probably Z-braced out of plywood. Hinges to match the gate hardware. And it'll have 2 windows in it. Nice 3 by 3 windows. They're sliding ones because the vertical proportions on them are nicer than any of the double hungs we could find that are 3 by 3. And this is a shed, so we're not really custom ordering anything. Got a 1-foot overhang around the whole thing, so projecting out from the gable end and off the rafter tails here. And there will be fascia boards covering up the rafter tails, so we won't have open ones. And there'll be a fascia board running up the gable end here. And we need to fill in the gable ends a little bit just to give some more support to tack on. We're going to put on 1/2-inch plywood sheathing, and then that'll have siding on top of that, hardy plank siding. So pretty sturdy. And back wall, nothing exciting going on there. That's just inside the shed. It's going to have storage and shelving and everything. We even thought about putting a little roof overhang out here on the outside to put like lawn waste bags, lawn refuse bags out. We're still thinking about that. And we'll have to frame in a gable vent on this wall, since we're probably just going to close up the soffit vents that you might have here. We're going to have an open soffit, but like I said, we're probably not going to vent it there. We're just going to put a gable vent in there because we still want this thing kind of sealed up in the winter. We want to keep it warmer because we're thinking of moving plants inside it. But it's coming along. So you can see we used steel connectors, Simpson strong tie Simpson system, and we've also bird's mouth the rafters. So these guys aren't going anywhere. But Darcy likes the shed. Now what are you eating? You're eating paper. So that's our tar paper for the roof there. And we're talking about putting an aluminum drip edge on there. I mean, even the main house over here is lovely suburban construction. It doesn't have any, doesn't actually have an aluminum drip edge as far as I know. Since we had to repair part of that this summer. But yeah, Darcy likes it. These are our, this is actually a shingle off the original house. And then just today we've got all these guys. So, pretty close match. Weathered gray from Royal Sovereign's shingles. But again, we'll have to put, before we go much further, I'm going to get the fascia boards up here. They'll be 1x6s. And then we'll be able to put the tar paper and the drip edge, maybe, on this sucker. And then put the shingles on. But it's about 204 square feet of roof here. 120 square foot shed. Well, there it is. Oh, I might mention this. This is Alabama redstone we have around the base here. This is the same stuff we have in around other parts of the house and under the bay window out front, and you can sort of get so this is kind of how it looks looking back towards the house. So I actually have a shallower roof pitch in the house. I think the house is 12-12. This is 8-12. Tomatoes looking real good. But that's basically the shed. Pretty simple, essentially a mini house. Well, that covers the shed. Figured I'd show you some of the rest of the backyard too. This is another project we did a couple months ago. I guess we call it the terrace because that's the patio. So what do you call this? It's not another patio. I may as well go with the terrace. Simple 12x12 stained concrete blocks. It's cut from Home Depot, and we've gotten a good bit of grass to grow in here. So it's turned out rather nice. But this whole area of the lawn is still, it needs to be roughed up a lot more and seeded. But sort of keeping with the curve theme here. Look, it's my shadow. Keeping with the curve theme here that we started with in the herb garden around the waterfall. But and just offsetting these tiles. I'll show it to you in plan in a second when we go up on the deck. But I keep saying it looks like the footprint of one of the buildings down at Tech, the Glass building. And the waterfall, as always, still here. Starting to thin out a little bit from the winter. But yes, we do have fish. See, they just chill now. Anyway, they're getting pretty big. We actually had to release some of them down in the neighborhood pond. Don't tell anyone. But we stuck some of the fish in there because it was getting a little overpopulated. But we have chipmunks taking around the herb garden, so you can see the curves in there in the concrete block that we have in. And essentially this all started with these pavers that Mom put in. But, so it's kind of nice. You come down the stairs and you have this curve, which dead ends here. You have this nice little area, and then that sort of flows out onto the shed. You get a nice little view. And we tried to get it perfectly parallel to the house here, but didn't quite succeed, so it's a little off. I keep complaining about it, but there's nothing we can do about it, so I may as well get over it. But the reason for that is because this yard slopes so much. I think it drops 13 feet from up there to all the way down to the point there. which you can't really see through the garden, but down in the point. And when we laid the frame on the ground, I lined it up using some of the horizontal lines inside the house and on the deck. So the deck rail and the window sashes and things. And then once we actually got it into place, we didn't realize it dropped that much. So because of the slope and the funky perspective, the shed is slightly out of line with the house. And we opted to rotate it that way instead of lining it up with the back fence. I can show that to you. I don't know if you caught it first half. But these trees are set 10 feet out. These two maples are set 10 feet out from the fence, just right there. And so it's not, we lined it up with those originally and we measured off the fence. And then we kind of kinked it to match the lines of the house, just visually. And still the minimum 5 feet away. But again, it's not quite parallel. Which bugs me. You can only really tell if you look at it through some of the Venetian blinds on the inside. But it works pretty well. It was, like I said, we tried it with parallel to the fence and it just looked kind of weird. It's tilted too much this way. This way you get a nice 3/4 view of the thing. And a nice frontal view coming off the terrace. But going upstairs, at the rickety deck stairs here. Oh, Darcy's coming. Come on, Darcy. I'm coming with you. Go up. Good girl. Like I said, Darcy likes the shed. She loves hanging out with us when we build it. There it is from the deck. Get the sweeping panorama here. In the gardens. But yeah, there it is.